Former cop found not guilty after killing girlfriend, covering it up, tried to hide it, get away with it. This is a hell of a story. Put up the picture full mass. In Illinois, Pierre Tyler, a former Chicago police officer who claimed he accidentally shot and killed 29-year-old Andris Wofford. Accidentally, he's a cop. He accidentally killed her, according to him, who was the mother of his child, in self-defense. So you gotta understand the story here. He accidentally killed her, but it was accidentally self-defense. There's more. 3 years ago, was found not guilty. He killed her 3 years ago, but he was now found not guilty, despite evidence that he even tried to cover up what he had done. Okay, so Tyler testified that she grabbed him, Ms. Wofford grabbed the gun in the heat of an argument after accusing him of being with someone else. Tyler said he admitted to cheating and that he was a bigamist. That's called motive, by the way. There's more. The gripping testimony ended dramatically as Tyler demonstrated how he tried to wrestle the gun from the woman's hands, causing the weapon to go off accidentally and then shoot the person who just accused him of this matter. And he shot her in the face. He said he panicked and intentionally did not call 911 because he feared investigators might not believe his story. Tyler testified that he left the apartment with a gun, as well as Wofford keys and phone, going out the back door to avoid being spotted after the fatal gunshot. In the hours that followed, Tyler sent text messages from Wofford's phone to her friends and family, discarded the gun in a vacant lot, disposed of her personal effects, though he said he could not recall exactly how, highlighting the contradictions in his story. Prosecutor said this man literally got a phone, started texting people to say, hey, I'm still alive. I'm still alive, to cover up what he had done. All right. So during the trial, prosecutors claimed Tyler shot Wofford as she attempted to leave the apartment following the argument and then tried to cover up the crime by lying to investigators. A Chicago police detective testified that Wofford's body showed no signs of struggle for the gun, as her nails were perfect and not broken. The woman's body was discovered by her family the next day after she didn't pick up her children the previous night and could not be reached further. Prosecutors emphasized that Tyler drove Wofford's mother back to her apartment without revealing that he knew her daughter was lying there, dead. After the verdict was read, Wofford's family members were overcome with grief and left the court in tears. Assistant State Attorney Griffin called Wofford a beautiful young woman with her whole life ahead of her, while suggesting that Tyler had gotten away with murder. She was done with the relationship, Griffin said. She told him she was going to file for child support and keep him away from his kids. She was on her way out the door, put a coat on, zipped it all the way up. She tried to leave, but he wasn't done. Back at the department, a spokesperson told the Chicago Sun-Times that Tyler is listed as inactive and remains on leave of absence. It was not immediately clear if he planned to return to the force, but he can now because he's been found not guilty. After all of those crimes that you just heard, he was found not guilty. He's still technically a cop right now. This is why people hate this system. Hate it. Clearly. Evidence of a guilty conscience. Evidence of knowing you killed someone. You are a police officer. The forensic evidence doesn't even agree with you. Francesca, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, look, the amount of domestic violence, sadly, within the police force is massive. We don't talk about that because it seems like they do a good enough job distracting us by killing unarmed people enough, right? But no, if you happen to be in a relationship with one, not all, but again, the instances are way higher. This is also the father of her children.
Right.
He killed the mother of his kids. Like, what are you doing? And so, look, the last thing I'm gonna say is part of the impunity of cops in this country, the fact that we don't have, qualified immunity federally, or that's been undone, the fact or that we have qualified immunity, excuse me, and we haven't undone it. It trickles down to juries. It's very difficult for a jury to convict a cop. It just is. The defense has an incredible, easy time convincing us this is a fine, upstanding man who just sort of snapped all of a sudden and shot his mom's, the mother of his kids in the face and killed her. And let her sit there and clearly covered it up. Doc, I'm watching the Jinx documentary with Robert Durst, right? I mean, it's like sending the note to the cops. He's clearly trying to cover it up because he did it. So, but yet juries, somehow, if you wear the badge, they think you're untouchable.
So unbelievable, but true.